Descent into Darkness. Written and copyright by A.A. Castor. Welcome everyone to A.A. Castor Book Club. Today's story is Descent into Darkness. Brace yourselves for a disturbing journey through desperation and moral decay, where the pursuit of wealth leads to shocking compromises and the ultimate cost of one's soul. Prepare for a tale that delves into the depths of human nature and the dark choices we make in the name of survival. Chapter 1: The Struggle. Sarah, a 30-year-old woman, worked tirelessly at a fast food joint, barely making enough to support herself and her 18-year-old daughter, Emily. Life had been harsh since she separated from her boyfriend. The monotony of flipping burgers and cleaning tables wore her down, and the minimum wage barely covered their needs. Her shifts were long, and her breaks were short, leaving her with little energy to enjoy any part of her day. Her hands were rough from scrubbing grease, and her feet ached from standing all day. "Mom, when are we going to get out of this place?" Emily asked one evening as they sat in their cramped apartment, eating dinner. The wallpaper was peeling, and the furniture was old and worn. The lights flickered occasionally, a reminder of the building's poor maintenance. Sarah sighed, looking at her daughter with tired eyes. "I don't know, Emily. I'm doing everything I can, but it's not enough." Emily frowned, poking at her food. "I wish things were different. I hate seeing you so tired all the time." Sarah forced a smile. "Me too, honey. But we'll get through this. We always do." The next day, Sarah returned from work, her body aching and her spirit drained. She slumped onto the worn-out couch and turned on the television, trying to escape her reality. As she flipped through channels, an advertisement caught her eye. It was for a popular subscription-based platform where creators could earn money by sharing exclusive content. An idea began to form in her mind. "Mom, what are you watching?" Emily asked, sitting beside her. Sarah glanced at her daughter. "Just something about people making money online. I was thinking, maybe I could try it." Emily raised an eyebrow. "Really? Doing what?" "I don't know yet," Sarah admitted. "But anything has to be better than this." That night, Sarah stayed up late researching how to start an account. She felt a glimmer of hope for the first time in a while. The next morning, she set up her profile, uploaded a few photos, and waited. Days turned into weeks, and despite her efforts, her subscriber count remained disappointingly low. "Mom, it's not working," Emily said one evening, looking at the computer screen. "Maybe this isn't the answer." Sarah's shoulders slumped. "I just thought, could help us." Chapter 2: The Proposition. Sarah created an account on the platform and began uploading content, hoping to attract subscribers. Despite her efforts, the response was lukewarm. Her plain looks and average appearance seemed to draw little interest. She felt a pang of jealousy as she saw other creators flaunting their luxurious lives online. A message notification popped up, offering her a bizarre proposition. "Have you ever thought about creating more controversial content?" The message read. Sarah's stomach churned. The subscriber asked if she would consider pushing boundaries, hinting that such material would attract more viewers. She hesitated, her morals clashing with her desperation for money. Curiosity got the better of her, and she posted a vague poll asking if her followers would be interested in seeing controversial content. The response was overwhelming. Messages flooded in, urging her to cross boundaries she never thought she would consider. "Mom, are you sure about this?" Emily asked, peering over Sarah's shoulder at the computer screen. "This doesn't feel right." "We need the money, Emily. This could change everything for us," Sarah replied, trying to convince herself as much as her daughter. The next few days were a blur of planning and hesitation. Sarah debated with herself constantly, but the allure of financial stability was too strong. She finally decided to take the plunge and post the controversial content her followers demanded. The reaction was immediate and intense. Chapter 3: Crossing the Line. Desperation led Sarah to dark decisions. She recorded herself in ways she never imagined, and her subscriber count skyrocketed. The influx of money was intoxicating, providing her with a taste of a lifestyle she had never experienced. She bought a new car, moved to a better neighborhood, and even managed to save a little. The sudden change in their lifestyle was exhilarating. "Mom, look at this," Emily exclaimed, showing her the new shoes she had bought. "We can finally afford nice things." Sarah smiled, though a pang of guilt gnawed at her. "I'm glad you're happy, Emily." 6 months passed, and Sarah's controversial content continued to rake in money. However, the novelty wore off and subscribers started to dwindle. Fear of losing everything she had gained gnawed at her. She spent sleepless nights worrying about their future, the shadows under her eyes growing darker with each passing day. One day, Emily stumbled upon her mother's content. Shocked and horrified, she confronted Sarah. "How could you do this, Mom?" she demanded, tears streaming down her face. "Emily, you don't understand. We were desperate. I didn't know what else to do," Sarah replied, her voice shaking. Emily's initial disgust was overshadowed by the fear of returning to their former struggles. Sarah proposed a plan that pushed the boundaries even further. She convinced Emily to join her in creating more controversial content, promising that they would never have to worry about money again. Emily reluctantly agreed, and they began collaborating on increasingly extreme content. The subscribers returned in droves, enticed by the new, darker direction of their channel. They reveled in their newfound wealth, buying an even bigger house and flaunting their riches online. Their new life was a whirlwind of shopping sprees and luxury experiences. They traveled to exotic locations, dined at high-end restaurants, and bought designer clothes. Their social media was filled with pictures of their extravagant lifestyle, drawing both admiration and envy. Chapter 4: A Desperate Pact. As time passed, the initial excitement waned, and their subscriber count began to drop once more. Panic set in. Sarah and Emily found themselves on the brink of losing everything yet again. Desperate, Sarah proposed the most extreme idea yet, something she knew would draw massive attention. "Emily, we have to do something drastic," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "If we don't, we'll lose everything." Emily was horrified but felt trapped. Their lavish lifestyle depended on their continued success. She reluctantly agreed, and they produced content that crossed all moral boundaries. The plan worked. Subscribers flocked back, drawn by the sheer audacity of their actions. Emily's eyes filled with tears as she looked at her mother. "I can't believe we're doing this. What have we become?" "We're survivors, Emily. We do what we have to," Sarah replied, trying to justify their actions. Their new content shocked even their most loyal followers. They pushed the envelope further than ever before, creating videos that were both mesmerizing and disturbing. The money flowed in, but the cost to their souls was immeasurable. Emily began to withdraw from her friends and family, consumed by guilt and shame. Her once bright and cheerful demeanor faded, replaced by a haunted look. Sarah noticed the change in her daughter but felt powerless to stop it. "Emily, talk to me," Sarah pleaded one night. Emily shook her head. "I can't, Mom. I feel like we're losing ourselves." Chapter 5: The Downfall. As the content grew darker, Emily's guilt and shame became unbearable. One night, she broke down in front of her mother. "I can't do this anymore, Mom. I feel like a monster." Sarah hugged her daughter tightly. "We have to, Emily. There's no other way. We've come too far to turn back now." Their community shunned them, and they became pariahs, whispered about and avoided. Neighbors looked at them with disdain, and former friends cut ties. Despite the luxurious lifestyle, the isolation and guilt gnawed at Emily. She became increasingly depressed, realizing the cost of their actions. One evening, she confronted Sarah again, tears in her eyes. "We've lost everything that mattered for the sake of money. Was it worth it?" Sarah, now consumed by her own guilt and regret, had no answer. They had traded their souls for temporary wealth, and the emptiness they felt was a constant reminder of their choices. Their luxurious home felt more like a prison, each room echoing with memories of the compromises they had made. Emily's eyes were haunted, and Sarah's once vibrant spirit was dulled by the weight of their actions. Emily's mental health continued to deteriorate. She struggled with nightmares and anxiety, her sense of self-worth shattered. Sarah watched helplessly as her daughter's life spiraled out of control. "Mom, I can't sleep," Emily whispered one night, her voice trembling. "I keep seeing the faces of those who watch us." Sarah held her close. "We'll get through this, Emily. Somehow we'll find a way." Chapter 6. The Aftermath. In the end, Sarah and Emily were left with their riches but devoid of happiness or respect. Their story became a cautionary tale of how far desperation could drive people and the dark depths to which they could sink. They lived in luxury, but their hearts were forever heavy with the weight of their actions. The community's whispers never ceased. "Did you hear about Sarah and Emily?" "Disgusting what they did for money," people would say. Sarah and Emily sat in their opulent living room, surrounded by expensive furniture and decorations, feeling more alone than ever. They had everything they thought they wanted, but nothing they truly needed. As the final credits of their latest video rolled, Sarah turned to Emily. "Do you think we'll ever be able to escape this?" Emily shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, Mom, we'll never escape this." And so, they continued to live in their gilded cage, prisoners of their own making, haunted by the choices that had brought them there. The once warm and loving relationship between mother and daughter was now tainted by the darkness they had embraced, a grim reminder of the price they had paid for their fleeting success. They sat in their lavish home, isolated from the world that had once embraced them, their riches now a bitter reminder of the sacrifices they had made. Sarah and Emily had become prisoners of their own choices, the weight of their actions a constant shadow over their lives. Their story, a testament to the destructive power of desperation and the dark paths it could lead one down. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, please share this podcast with your friends and rate it on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to visit my website at www.tonyc.info for more content, updates, and exclusive behind-the-scenes insights. This podcast is mainly supported by listeners like you. If you want to help keep the stories coming, consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/JTAC. Even just $1 a month makes a huge difference and helps me continue to create the content you love. Thank you again for listening. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the unknown.